You mentioned the lifestyle of an artist here. Have you been able to keep up a nice lifestyle, or has your art sometimes been behind your living conditions? How hard was it to earn a living as an artist?
I feel like I was lucky, but still, and particularly, well, Donna and I were talking about this, being a sculptor. You know, I was joking earlier, I said, you know, when my students ask me, you know, how do I make it as an artist? How do I make a living? And my first quip is always be a nail painter. Start there, you know, it's just going to be easier in every way. So to be a sculptor and then to work in bronze, which I did for 20 years, you know, it's just so costly. And, you know, now my siblings ask me, why didn't you ever get a house somewhere along the line? I said, because I made all those bronzes, you know. You have to make choices when you're going to spend whatever, you know, and I feel I was lucky enough to have, you know, but it was always like sell a piece, make a piece. I have a rent-controlled loft that I live in, that for many years was also my studio, but it doesn't have an elevator, so once I started working on it, I got to a point where when the foundry guys, who usually would deliver my work from the foundry, finally said, we can't do this anymore.
Did they come in through the window or up the stairs?
Stairs. And I said, okay, I get you, I hear you, I have to find a building with an elevator. So then I moved my studio, so, you know, basically affording 2 places in New York is costly in itself, but working away from where I live was a big step, was a great step. Really helped.
Did you have a commission first, or sometimes just do your bronzes and hope that someone would buy it?
No, I'm always working, and the majority of my career, I had exhibitions and sold from the exhibitions, even the bronzes. So sometimes they've been borrowed back for exhibitions, and patinas just, there was one I remember that it had been a, you know, the copper blue was the patina I put on it, and parts of it were this color. And I had tried so hard with the patina guy at the foundry to get this color on a different piece, and he finally said, you know what we really do? We use Rust-Oleum. And then we put dark wax on it, looks antiqued, and it protects the surface.
So it's coming through.
Yeah, so this other thing, I said to him, I want you to see this, because how did this turn that color? And he looked and he did some research and he said, it's acid rain. Which is corrosive, but it was beautiful, you know. So commissions actually for me are a step out of my regular working routine, and I find them awkward for that reason, though I do them. It's also, I am not particularly good at winning over a committee. I just get very, it's like my worst traits come out, you know. I'm just like, why do I have to prove anything to you? So I have found that public projects are very hard for me, and I love working on private commissions, you know, beautiful gardens and things like that, except then the works are not public and nobody ever sees them. Because I just work all the time. I'm very hermetic in that sense. I work constantly, and so what I've been trying to do in more recent years is I do these kind of photo sketches using the computer and using Photoshop, where I just, as a way of drawing, I think about pieces in an environment, so that if I'm approached about a commission, I have a sort of backlog of ideas, so I don't go into this tailspin about, oh God, what do they want, and you know, I should be thinking about what can I do. You have to do everything. I taught, you know, I teach on and off. I've always had a teaching job of some sort, but I've never had a position, because when I get busy, then then I'll take a semester and not go teach because I've got 7 employees. You know, it's always fluctuating, but you have to get used to that and just go with that. I do everything that affects how it looks. I have assistants that do preparatory work, and then I do, like for example, I did 2 wooden equestrian monuments. And I had assistants do laminating all the wood into these, you know, into this, based on proportions, dimensions I gave them. You know, laminating a kind of block outline of a horse. And then I carved the horse. And then they did the sanding and finishing. And I did the patina. And I did the staining, you know, the sealing. Those kind of things. I mean, it's a hand-in-glove operation, so I had 2 great assistants that worked with me for years. And then they would train other people.